I will say this with no hesitation, that starting a Study With Me channel is so far the best decision I've ever made. Today I want to share with you how I set up my Study With Me video. Before we jump in, I want to mention that we are actually starting a Discord server to gather people who's interested in improving their productivity along with discussions on the relevant topics. I will link the invitation at the description down below. It's still at its early stage, but we are working on it to make a better community, so feel free to come and join us. Okay, back to what I was saying earlier. First, a camera. Sony Alpha 600 is the one I use with the most basic lens. Believe it or not, I've been using this for 6 years. It's still working perfectly. On top of this, storage is going to be a big problem, especially when you are considering 2 to 3 hours videos. I have 2 SD cards. For cases like when I'm exporting videos using one card, I will need another one for filming, plus an external drive. One 3 hours video may take up to 20 gigabytes of space, and that's where this 1 terabyte SSD comes in to help. Thirdly, a tripod. It totally depends on your need. Mine can go from 30 centimeters, stretching up to 160 centimeters. Lastly, a computer for editing. I'm currently using M1 chip MacBook Pro with the base setup. It shows no problem of exporting 2 to 3 hours video so far.
Yes, you do need to plan for the content, even if it's just you study 2 things. What to study and how long will I be studying for? So my workflow goes like, I will first have all the study materials ready on the table, which will greatly reduce the chances of getting distracted from getting up constantly. Then I will set an alarm for 30 minutes. The reason being that my camera has this annoying feature that it will automatically stop recording after 30 minutes. So I usually end up taking 6 30-minute sessions and compile them into a 3 hours long video. Finally, the recording. The angle is probably the most important thing to consider. The reason I'm mentioning this is that when I first started this, I would get too focused on the starting and forget how close my hands are getting to the camera. If I'm to check every now and then to make sure my hands are not blocking the camera, it would totally ruin my reason for focusing. So to have a comfortable studying session for myself and the future viewers, the angle is a huge thing to consider ahead of time. For editing, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I heard a lot of people struggling with the exporting because it takes too long. So here's what I would do to reduce the time for exporting a 3 hours long video. I have one Photoshop project just for the assets I will use in the video. Instead of editing them directly in Premiere, I will offload all the pictures related work to Photoshop. For example, the prompts you see in my videos, they are actually just static pictures with some keyframes. Usually a 3 hours long video would take 1.5 hours to export with my setup. That's all for today's video. I hope you found what you need and feel ready to start your own Study With Me channel. I hope I can study with you on your channel very soon.